Welcome into Sports Nightly. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your ticker. Happy Friday, Huskers fans. It's another busy weekend at the Huskers Radio Network, and we'll set the table right here on Sports Nightly. First, a final from softball earlier this afternoon where Nebraska won a wild affair 10-9. Sacramento State was the opponent as the Huskers won in dramatic fashion.
With a 1-1, and Ibarra swings and blasts it. Deep right center field. Gone! Huskers win! Huskers win! Huskers win! Huskers win 10-9 on the Ibarra blast to center.
There you heard the voice of our own Nate Rohr on the call of Cam Ibarra's walk-off home run in a game that featured the Huskers rallying from 5 runs down during their 12th win of the season. But the Big Red are right back at it as they're currently in their second contest of the day, squaring off with Cal State Fullerton. The Huskers lead early in that one, 3-1 in the third inning. Just final, Huskers Beach Volleyball is in Hawaii playing in the Queen's Cup, and they fell in 2 games today to 9th-ranked Hawaii, 5-0 in the same score against number 10 California this morning. They'll be back at it tomorrow. No Huskers basketball in action, but the Big Ten men's tournament marches on in the quarterfinals today in Indy. This morning, 9th-seeded Indiana pulled off the stunner, taking down top-seed Illinois 65-63 in a thriller. Shortly thereafter, 5th-seeded Iowa bested 4th-ranked Rutgers 84-74. Currently, it's the 2nd-seed Wisconsin against the 7th-seed Michigan State, and the Spartans are up early in that one. And then looking at later tonight, it'll be the 3rd-seed Purdue taking on 11th-seed Penn State. In the women's top 25, the Big 12 quarterfinals are currently underway. Baylor bested Oklahoma State 76-36 earlier. Oklahoma also took down Kansas 80-68. Currently 10th-ranked Iowa State is up on West Virginia 41-28 at half. And following the conclusion of that game, it'll be Kansas State and 7th-ranked Texas. A reminder that the Huskers will be offering free admission to Pinnacle Bank Arena for the Women's NCAA Selection Show this Sunday at 7 p.m. And doors open at 6. Again, admission is free, so feel free to attend. You can sit along with the team as they figure out where they will be going in the NCAA tournament. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina. At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off the Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes! Bang! A bang! A bang-a-rang! Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our Friday show. We're going to wrap up the week for you here tonight. Thank you so much for spending some of your Friday evening with us. Going to have a fun 2 hours headed your way. Huskers wrapped up their pre-spring break practices today. They had a scrimmage, no media availability afterwards, but that was practice number 6 of 15. So not quite to the midway point of spring football practice, but pretty darn close. We're going to go back a couple of days. The head coach met with the media on Wednesday. We'll get some takes from him about the way the first 5 practices at that time had gone, and also his thoughts about the quarterback position. And we'll hear from Logan Smothers, the Husker returner who started that final game game against the Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll have that for you coming up here in hour number one. Hour number two, had a chance to sit down with Efry Cervantes, the Husker infielder, the baseball team getting ready to really ratchet up their schedule. They're going to have a batch of games starting on Sunday against UNO up in Omaha. Their home opener will be Monday against UNO at 1 o'clock at Haymarket Park. We'll hear from Efry and talk about his journey as a Husker baseball player. That's coming up in hour number two. And Megan Kahn, who is the Big Ten administrator that oversees women's basketball. Jessica had a chance to catch up with Megan in Indianapolis last week. Selection Sunday, as Tim told you, coming up on Sunday night. How will the Big Ten fare for that? We'll hear all about that coming up in the second hour of the program. The sun is still out a little bit. Everybody, here's your PSA for the day, Jessica. Tomorrow night, you turn your clocks forward. You spring forward.
We lose a night, an hour of sleep.
We lose an hour of sleep. Yeah, okay. That's always tough to get over.
Yeah, but it's better because it's lighter and brighter and makes me happier.
It'll be light out till probably 7:30, 7:45 next week. So that'll be
it. And so people can see on the YouTube stream a little bit of the construction there. Well, depending on the camera.
It's amazing how much has gone up during the winter because they haven't had to stop much because we've had pretty good weather throughout the winter months.
It's coming on up. I mean, there's levels to it now, and there's actually some pillars and some platforms put in place. I mean, it is going to be massive. It's hard for me. I can't envision things, until they start really kind of coming into shape. And I mean, I knew it was going to be big, but seeing kind of the frame of it is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, over 300,000 square feet is what that building's going to be like for the Go Big project. It's going to be huge. But daylight savings time tomorrow night, so spring forward those clocks for everybody tomorrow night. So the Huskers and all of campus will shut down next week, spring break week, so everybody's off to, I'm sure, pretty cool destinations. Were you a big spring breaker? I didn't do much when I was in college in spring break.
No, I didn't. I was working there was one time when my brother was a senior, his quote-unquote senior trip, we went to March Madness. He picked a game, and we went and watched the first and second round game of a men's basketball tournament. That was pretty fun. But,
Where'd you go?
We went to Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Gonzaga, Oklahoma. My brother's a big Gonzaga fan, so it was like, I can't even remember who all was in it, but it was pretty fun.
Cool.
It's a fun time of the year, and my family's a big basketball family. We love it. So, but no, I never really went anywhere fun over spring break.
I didn't either. I just didn't want to spend the money. I just didn't. I mean, I probably picked up a few hours of part-time work during that week.
Guess where Nuri is going? Nuri? Well, he came in.
We can't go back home. We can't go back to Germany. That'd be too far. Texas. I'll say Texas.
He's going to Houston with Brant Banks, right? Lives down there from
Brant
Houston.
lives down there.
And they're going to the Houston Rodeo. And they're actually going to do some working out down there. They're going to work out with some.
Good for those guys.
But they're going, Nuri's first ever rodeo. He's going to check out that at the Houston Rodeo. I was like, well, don't go to another one after that because Houston Rodeo is like top at the top, right?
One. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's great that those guys can get away.
He said Brant made him buy some cowboy hats and jeans. He doesn't like jeans, but he's got to wear jeans. And
I don't know. See if I see Nuri much of a cowboy. Do you see much cowboy in Nuri?
No, but here's the thing. Here's what's really cool about Nuri is, he's from Germany, obviously, and he has this deep desire to experience new things, and he always is open for anything and everything because he wants to experience every kind of culture and background and what people are, his teammates, but everybody. He wants to take it all in. He's very interested in that kind of thing. So he's all for it. He's up for it. He's like, I don't necessarily, I'm not a big country guy, and I don't necessarily like country music, but he said, I'll try anything to get the experience.
He's such a fun fellow to talk to. He really is. there's a lot of interesting parts to Nuri.
Yeah, and you could tell why he is, just so well liked. But his story's so fascinating. The way he got here and he hadn't been playing long, and I think where he's just kind of scratching the surface of just how good he can be. But he's another one of those guys that is the epitome of those guys. The best offensive linemen are very, very mean, not very nice on the field, but could not be nicer off of it. I mean, he is just such a kind human being, and we had some fun with him. Some of that stuff will be coming out next week with talking a little Ireland. We had him try some Irish food and Garrett Nelson as well. So it was fun. But
wow.
But Nuri's kind of, again, he's one of those guys. Okay, he'll do anything and everything you ask him to do.
Those are kind of opposite guys, though. Really, their personalities are. Garrett's just so always on drinking Red Bull.
But they both have great personalities. They're different, but they're both fun, engaging personalities that, what we were having them do, you kind of needed guys with that kind of personality. So it's going to be fun. And they had some fun with it. And yeah, so that'll be coming out next week.
Good. Looking forward to seeing some of that coming out as next week. So students on campus kind of departing today. A lot of people exiting out of town. It'll be empty on campus next week. The weather here is going to be pretty good, but I'm sure a lot of people are headed to places like Houston, Texas, that type of thing, down to Florida to do the spring break thing. I just was not a huge part of that. So it's interesting because I know Scott Frost, when he first got here, kind of said, man, I don't know if that's a great thing to stop practice kind of in the middle of spring ball, but it's just kind of the way it works. And I think they've kind of adapted to it over the years, but they'll pick back up and again in about 10 days and finish it out for the April 9th spring game. It'll be coming up before we know it.
It's funny because the narrative, if you're a basketball player, is you don't want to have a spring break, right?
You want to be in the tournament.
Yeah, so most of the time, since I've started working in this business, I've been traveling or going somewhere with basketball. And even high school, I mean, look how close it is to spring break. A lot of times where I grew up in Oklahoma, spring break was right there with it. So, it's kind of the goal. You don't want to be able to go to the beach if you play college basketball.
Yeah. Our thoughts right now with Amy Williams. Her daughter's playing for state title not too far away
How
from
cool
here.
was that moment when she
had her old camera out there. She was taking pictures. Wasn't that
Just
cool?
mom mode, you know?
Yeah.
That's special. And the way that it worked out, that the Big Ten tournament was last week, and then, she got to actually take it in as opposed to her team playing at the same time. Really special.
Very nice for her. So we wish them good luck in their endeavor at PBA tonight. Fun time of year. You got all those high school teams, all that emotion going on, trying to win state titles. Should be a lot of fun for them to follow. Big Ten tournament today. The Iowa Hawkeyes, the Indiana Hoosiers are into the semifinals on the men's side, and that's the matchup that we had in the women's championship game last Sunday. Was Indiana against Iowa. Their men will now match up. Indiana's been a bit of a story in the tournament. They came from behind to beat Michigan yesterday, and they knocked off the number 1 seed, the Illinois Fighting Illini, today. So Indiana, who was a bubble team going in, probably going to get themselves into the tournament with what they've done so far. Michigan State and Wisconsin playing right now. Sparty has an early lead. And Penn State pulled off an upset late last night. They beat Ohio State. They will play Purdue. My money's on Purdue to win that Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis over the next couple of days. I think Purdue is the best team in the league.
I guess I could go with it. Maybe.
Because the other side's Indiana, Iowa. Maybe Iowa. Iowa's hot.
I was going to say Iowa because
they're hot.
They can score it, and they got a lot. They're kind of matchup problems. They provide a lot of matchup problems. So
they are hot. All right, that's what we have here on the show tonight. If you want to be a part of it, phone lines, text lines, always open and available for you. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brand, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at Woodhouse.com. We're back to hear from first the head coach. We'll play some clips that he had on Wednesday when he met with the media talking about the first week and about the quarterbacks, and then we'll hear from Logan Smothers, who Jessica caught up with after the Wednesday practice as well. All that's coming up next.
Is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit Deto Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DetoSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. You made it to the end of the week. For a lot of you, it's spring break week, so good for you. Going to have a good week. Weather's going to warm up, 60s, some 70s in the forecast. Should be great. All right, Husker football wrapped up their pre-spring break practices today. On Wednesday, the head coach met with the media. That was after practice number 5. He was asked to kind of give a first week assessment of spring ball.
I don't know if we're settled in yet. There's a ton of energy from new guys and coaches and players alike. There's a lot of guys learning, a lot of exciting things to see out there. I've loved the energy and the attitude and the leadership, and I think I've mentioned that before. We got a good team that wants to be good, and that's the first step in being good, and they're working hard to get there. There's still a lot we need to clean up and figure out, but it's been a good first 4 days.
It's kind of the money quote. We have a good team that wants to be good.
Yeah. I mean, I from the conversations that I've had with players, I mean, by no means are they ready to go out and win a bunch of games right now, but that's the point of spring practice, is to continue to grow. And there's a lot of new pieces, a lot of new things to figure out, a lot of holes, big time holes you got to fill with some leaders and all of that. But I think it's a work in progress. But I think it's probably a fun new mixture of bringing in some of those new guys with the new attitudes and the hunger there, plus the guys that were right there on the cusp of winning a lot of games last year. So you mix that together. You got to think that's got to provide for a competitive atmosphere out at practice.
And the new coaches.
Right, yeah.
All the spirit and different ideas that they bring into the mix of this thing as well. Well, we were anxious to hear from the quarterbacks, and the media was anxious to get the head coach's thoughts about the quarterback's performance of the first 5 practice sessions. Here's the head coach on that topic.
Chubb has been limited. So we haven't seen him do a ton yet. I think all the quarterbacks in general are really comfortable with some of the things we used to do and still figuring out some of the new things. I think Casey actually is doing the best at some of the new stuff because everything's new to him. But it's a learning process for everybody. Been really impressed at times, watching get frustrated and think we need to get better at other times. That's the process in that spring ball. But Casey's been doing really good things out there, and the biggest thing is we're getting such good leadership from the quarterback position. Those guys are driving the huddle, they're pushing the team, they're setting examples, and we need that as a football team.
A lot of high praise for Casey.
Yeah, I mean, we heard it from him last night. I mean, this is a guy that does his research and dives in and grinds. I mean, he does the extra work, at practice, the physical work and the mental work. I mean, he dives into anything and everything, trying to study the playbook, but also he's had to learn a bunch of new offenses throughout his football career. So he probably is able, throughout that process, he's able to pick new things up really quickly. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that just really studies and studies and studies. I think, and we're going to hear from Logan here in a little bit, but it's a good mix between Casey's the guy that is the experienced starter that, has that kind of leadership. But then Logan's the guy that's liked in the locker room. And so I think, and we've heard Coach Frost talk about this throughout the entire spring, is that they need to come together and be leaders as a group. And I think that's kind of, that's why he's saying that it's such a good leadership group. And I feel like the mixture between Casey's experience and Logan being around here and knowing this team and how this place works.
Last year, the quarterback position was skinny. I mean, you had Adrian, you had Logan, and you had Heinrich Harburg. You only had 3 scholarship quarterbacks. Now you have 5 because you have Casey, Purdy, you have Logan back, you have Heinrich is still there, and then you have Richard Torres, who you had a chance to talk to right when he was here for his official visit in November. He's here. The coach was asked about, how are you jumbling all 5 of those?
It hasn't really shown up yet because Chubb has been a little limited, and Richie Torres is still healing up from an knee injury in high school. So it kind of feels like it did before with 3. But that's good. The guys that are out there are getting a lot of reps, and we'll start to work the other guys in when they're healthy.
I can't imagine Torres doing much of anything, right? He got hurt in the fall.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he told me. So it was in September? Or early October. It was earlier in the season, so October, November, December.
Like Gabe Irvin, kind of that same range.
There's no way. I mean, at the quickest, normally your release from an ACL is 6-7 months. And
I walked by him the other day. He's tall.
He's big, dude. Yeah. When I sat down next to him in the interview, it didn't look as tall. But when I stood up next to him, I'm like, "You are a big guy."
Yeah, he is really tall, which is perfect because he can just sit back and learn and soak it in, get his body healed up, and maybe in 2 years he could be pretty special.
He's got just an incredible story. I mean, he was a basketball player and had the potential to, maybe be really special at basketball, and that's just raw athleticism carried over to the football field. And he was kind of a late bloomer as far as people noticing him and getting all those offers, but he really picked up steam in a hurry, and a lot of it was because he was so focused on basketball for so long. I mean, that was his sport until recently, but he talked to me a lot about, even though he wasn't going to go fully into spring ball, he knew it was important for him to get here and even just figure out the mental part of it and get to know his teammates and just figure out how this college thing works.
I think another good guy in this class that's a pretty good basketball player is your favorite dude, Emmett.
Yeah.
He's not here yet. He'll be here in the summer.
Yeah, I haven't checked up. I wonder if what he's
Yeah,
doing
we need to look
in
that
the
up.
state in his high school state playoffs.
Need
But
to look that up. All right, we'll leave you with this from the coach. He was asked specifically about Casey Thompson, his ability, his experience, all those starts that he made at Texas. Here's the head coach.
He sees the field really well. There's some things when you get a new quarterback, sometimes everything's moving fast and they get tunnel vision, and that's been apparent from the beginning that he sees the field. When he knows where to go, the ball comes out quick. He's kind of a step ahead of the game, and that only comes from experience that he already has.
That's what I've heard from several different people already, is that they're amazed at how quickly he makes a decision and gets the ball out. And I think that was probably a bit of a criticism for Adrian, that it didn't get out quick enough. I think Casey's just a snap quicker than that.
and I'm pretty sure was it last year? Was it his line that wasn't very good?
Yeah, they weren't very good.
Yeah, so he had to learn pretty quickly probably to get rid of that ball. So, but yeah, he's so experienced in a lot of different situations. Even though he was at Texas for a long time, he had different schemes and different coaches he had to learn under. So he has had a lot of stuff thrown at him that he's had to learn on the fly.
Buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, last night we had a chance for you to sit down with Casey Thompson, and then you had also a chance to catch up with Logan Smothers, who started that Iowa game and really played pretty well against the Hawkeyes in that final game. The Huskers had the lead in that game for more than 3/4 of that thing before Iowa nipped them at the end. So tell us about Logan here.
Yeah, so again, I have said this several times, but after he played in that game, he was pretty devastated and was taking it kind of hard. But I was waiting there to do an interview with him, and I can't even tell you, I mean, so many of the players came by and, hey, keep your head up, you could tell he's really, really well liked in that locker room. So, just got a chance to catch up with him and what was his goal going into spring and how it's been going for him. Well, how has spring practice been going for you?
It's been good. It's new offense, new guys around, but, I think it's going good right now.
What has been your take on the new offense? What did you do to kind of familiarize yourself with it?
Yeah, just studying, from walkthroughs, taking that, mental notes, mental reps, and just going out and playing. That's the big thing for me. When you're going out and doing the play, that's when you learn the most.
What excites you the most about the potential of this offense?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's fast, and I feel like we throw the ball a good bit, so, that's always fun to do. Hopefully keep some quarterback run game in.
When you walked off the field after the last game and had your first start and were able to evaluate that and take that into the offseason, what was your take?
Just had to take the positive away. When we moved the ball, we scored. Just taking that, just try to use momentum for that going into spring ball.
I've said this before, and I've said it on our show. It seems like this team just loves you, and when I was talking to you, they were all stopping you and talking to you. What's been the process like of building those relationships with your teammates?
I love these guys. These are my boys. I've been here for a while. I feel like we're all close. We're a close room all around the offense, defense. And, just going out and getting reps with those guys, new guys, it just helps it click.
With multiple quarterbacks now kind of competing for the job, how good is that for a program to have this kind of competition?
Yeah, healthy competition, it's only going to get the best out of everyone. So everyone's getting reps. We're all getting to play, so.
And with you being a guy that's been around, and then you got new guys coming in, but as a group, how important is it for the quarterbacks to kind of step into a leadership role for this team?
Yeah, quarterback, we've got to be the leader on the team, and I think we're doing that. So we just got to keep rolling in spring and take it to the season.
What about these wide receivers? There's a lot of returning talent. You're adding a lot more. What has it been like throwing the ball to them this spring?
Oh man, it's been awesome. I love the receivers. We've got some new guys. They can just run. Some speed out there. I love to see that. So it's been good.
And what has Mickey Joseph brought to the table?
Oh, he brings energy every day. He's always yelling, got something to say, and it motivates you, even us. Love to see it.
And then how about the offensive line? What's that competition been like? I know you got some holes to fill, maybe some guys out. What has it been like for those guys?
Yeah, we lost some guys. Got 2 new faces in there, and they're the O-line. That's a different room. They're awesome though. They've been battling and fighting, competing. So that's what we love to see.
You personally, what was your goal once you finished last season going into spring? What did you want to get better at?
Just all around, especially this year with Coach Whipple, some new coaches, just learning the offense. That was the biggest thing.
You know, everybody talks about your speed. It's evident. Where does that come from? How were you able to be such an elite athlete with so much speed?
You know, I've just been running my whole life. You know, at a young age, played football, ran track, and just loved to run.
I mean, how important is it, though, to be able to utilize that in what you do as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it helps a lot with our game. You know, if there's nothing there, just go and move. Just help make plays.
And then moving forward, you guys are going to take a week off for spring break, but what's the goal of this football team, this offense specifically, as you are halfway through spring ball?
Yeah, just working to be together. You know, we want to be a complete unit, offense, defense, and just be a complete team. Start from finish the games.
All right, appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I mean, it's always important to have depth there, too. So regardless of how this thing shakes out, and it'll be interesting, when would you think they would name the starter?
I think they'll hold off until August.
The fall? Yeah.
I do. Yeah, he's a forgotten guy, right? Everybody's kind of written him off, and I think that's a mistake. Do I think he's a starter if everybody's healthy? No, probably not. But I also think he gained a lot of experience last year. He has a skill set that you can certainly work with. And I hope he hangs around. I think he's a guy that, as you have mentioned, is very well respected within the locker room, and that's an important quality to have.
Yeah, and you always need a number two, you know. So
absolutely.
And a lot of times that comes down to you know, how good your backup is in some of these games. You see it across college football every year, so it will be important to have depth there no matter what.
His hair's gotten long.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
The world. Don't have a barber around here for these guys?
I mean, Gary Nelson's growing his hair out.
Andrew?
I mean, I guess
Andrew's
it must be the
hanging
trend.
over his eyes, and it's crazy.
It must be the trend, yeah. So.
All right, good stuff there with Logan Smothers, Husker quarterback again. The Huskers headed for an April 9th spring game. About 40,000 tickets have already been sold for that. And again, prices on game day will go up. So if you're one of those ones that procrastinates and says, I'll just get into the day of the game, you're going to pay more. So be thinking about it and get it on your calendar for April the 9th. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question. If you have some thoughts about Husker football, the quarterback competition, what have you heard from Casey Thompson last night, Logan Smothers tonight? Love to get your take on that. Also, you can fire off text to us as well. More of the show coming up.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5's inviting interior and eye-catching exterior combine passenger comfort and driving pleasure. Equipped with standard all-wheel drive, the award-winning 2022 Mazda CX-5 creates confidence on your journey. The interior surrounds you with sophistication tailored to you. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-5 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Everett swings and hits one well to left. That's hit well. Elkins turning. He's to the wall, and it is gone. Everett gets one out of here.
Big Red Baseball is back at Haymarket Park for the first time this season as they take on the Omaha Mavericks this Monday. Catch all the pregame action on the Huskers Radio Network at 12:30 p.m. with first pitch at 1. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Winquist comes set, the pitch, there goes the runner, ground ball right side, base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the 9th inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at Huskers.com/donate.
The 2022 Mazda CX-9's refined performance and signature design make this 7-passenger CUV a cut above. Enjoy the inviting cabin where every passenger's comfort was a consideration. While experiencing Mazda's holistic approach to driving, the 2022 Mazda CX-9 is crafted for connection to the driver, passenger, and the journey. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-9 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, they're even longer term than your sister's piano recital at church that time you drank a whole big cup of soda right before you left home and insisted to your mom that you didn't have to use the bathroom. We're talking that long-term.
Hello, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 308-284-3260 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night on Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. We talked about spring break starting this week, and you know that all coaches, all parents this time of year when kids are heading off for spring break, you get nervous. You know, you get worried. There's a story I was just reading on CBSSports.com about some Army football players that overdosed. They're on spring break in Florida. I mean, I'm sure that every coach tells their kids, be smart when you're out there. Go have a good time, enjoy yourself, be a college kid, but be smart with your decisions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, I never went, but you
Nope.
hear the stories about how it can be crazy at some of the places you go. So, yeah, you gotta be smart, no doubt about it.
So all those athletes, all students, if you're heading out and about, be safe and when you're out heading around, whether you're heading to Arizona or if you're going skiing or if you're heading to some of the beaches in the southern part of the country, be safe out there. We want all of them to come back safe and sound.
I heard flights are pretty high right now.
Going up, gas prices. I mean,
Yeah.
It's going to just keep moving up. Hopefully, if people were going places, they bought those several months ago and they were still pretty good.
I talked to a student. I can't even remember which student that they were trying to look into maybe going, and the flights were too high.
Yeah.
So
it is gotten expensive to do some of that. But stay home, watch college basketball, right? You got March Madness, you got Selection Sunday coming up here in a couple of days. We don't know where the Huskers are going to be headed. They're going to find out Sunday night. That should be a blast at PBA on Sunday night.
it's so cool. I'm so excited and so glad that they opened it up for fans that have been so important to them even getting to this point. I mean, 16-1 at home, and that was in large part thanks to Husker Nation, and there is a reputation out there that it is a hard place to play, and that's how you do it. You protect the home court, and so for them to open it up to be able to celebrate with the fans, and you're going to get to react with them, see it in live time, and they're going to have a little program, so the players are going to talk and speak, and so all of that. It's going to be a fun night, and then if you can't watch it, I encourage you to come, because I think, that's what's been special for this team, to see the support for them, how it's grown throughout the season, and the people paying attention to what they're doing. It fuels them, right? I mean, it just inspires them. And so, but if you can't come, if you can't be in PBA, we are going to live stream it across all of our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above. So you'll be able to see the reaction. No matter if you can't make it, you'll be able to see it in live time.
Huskers have a week off, and this is one of those debatable things. Do you benefit from having your tournament a week before to allow your team to get a break, get their legs back a little bit, or do you lose rhythm with your season when you don't play for 10 days? In some cases, it might be closer to 2 weeks before you play. It's one of those great arguments, and I can see both sides of it.
Well, I asked the players, because I've had them in here throughout the week, and all of them said that they were glad that it was this week, that they weren't playing this week, because they were, playing those 3 games and 3 physical games,
yep.
With 2 with Michigan and Iowa, Michigan especially, and that was emotionally draining as well. And so you put 3 days together, because even in the NCAA tournament, you at least get a day to, catch your breath a little bit. But it was back to back to back. They needed to get their bodies right. They needed to rest and recuperate. And so, and even, I can't even remember which one it was, told me I needed to catch up on some school because I didn't do any of it last week. So,
right.
It's just, it's important for them to kind of get ready. And so that's what they were telling me, that they were glad that they had this week before, even though it's a long week. And they said that it's kind of dragging on, but they were glad to have this week to be able to rest.
I used to have a theory, and it worked sometimes, it didn't work other times, about picking when I was filling my brackets out. If somebody played a championship game on that Sunday and then had to turn around and play on Thursday or Friday, I was really hesitant to take them, because I knew that they were probably drained from playing in a long conference tournament, cutting down the nets or whatever it is, and then to try to get yourself ramped back up by Thursday or Friday. It's hard to do.
Well, it's why a lot of times you see these teams making early exits if they're already in, or they're comfortable with where their seeds may be. If they've locked up a #1 seed, a lot of times they don't go in there and try to make that run, because it's not necessarily important to do that, and you're just risking being tired and fatigued, especially on those Sunday games. That's a quick turnaround, because you got to fly, then you got to figure out, you might be in a different time zone, you got to get adjusted. It's a lot, and then it's emotionally draining. It's mentally draining, because you're playing a team that you've never played before most of the time. So there's a lot that goes into getting ready for the NCAA tournament, and so you want to have, I think most coaches and players would prefer to have as much time as possible leading into it.
Brad Underwood today, Illinois got beat by Indiana, and he said, you know what, we came here, we wanted to win the tournament, but we didn't, we're out, so gives us a couple more days to rest. And he brought up Baylor. He said, Baylor didn't win the Big 12 last year, and they went on and won the national title. So he says, we'll just pop that up on the screen and tell that's what our guys, there you go, you got 48 hours more of rest. Use it wisely, get off your feet, get rested, and let's go next Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think for most teams, their goal, especially those ones at the top, are, hey, let's go win a national championship. So if you feel great about where you are going into the tournament, if you've locked up one of those seeds, then yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of them, there's not as much emphasis, not as much, I guess, need to go in and perform well, because for some of these teams, you either have to win it to get in, or you need to go win a couple of games. So even the Husker women needed to go win a game or two to help their seed out.
Yep.
So there's some things that you can do. You can move up or down depending on how you perform in the tournament. But for some of those teams that have absolutely taken care of business in the regular season, it's not as much of a, I guess, just an emphasis to be able to do that.
It is an interesting argument, because 10 days, 12 days, 14 days without a game, it can get you out of rhythm a little bit. But the Big 12 plays their tournament this week from both the men and women. Where in the Big 10, they stagger it. They put the women one week, the men the next. I would love to have somebody go do a 10-year study, and does it affect somebody to get extra days off to not benefit? Programming note for all of you, we will have Amy Williams in studio Monday night, hour number 1 of Sports Alley. It'll be her final Coaches Radio Show of the year. We have not had the coach in studio for about a month, so looking forward to having her in here, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of information. She'll know who she's playing.
Yep. And, a lot of times when you're there for a selection show, they might have some inkling of they might play. Like in the past, I know coaches coaching staff and basketball teams I've been around have had a binder of potential teams, but until you can't really dive into it. So you might not be that familiar. So she'll have had time to really dive into it. I can't wait to see how this women's basketball team goes, or tournament goes this year, being the disaster of a year ago.
Awful.
And the way that they've kind of tried to make it more equal going into this year with the 68 teams and the March Madness, and the first time it's on Selection Sunday. So I am just fascinated to see how this all unfolds.
Well, remember last year, the tournament, the women were all in San Antonio, the men were all in Indianapolis.
Right, yep.
And so now we're getting it back where it's fingered out around the country, and you're going to play at different locations, which is the way it ought to be. So I think it's great, because I think it's exciting for athletes to go to different parts of the country to play, to not go to one location. I think it's fantastic to get it back to kind of normal.
Oh yeah, and teams, you never know where you travel.
Yeah.
Fan bases might be able to travel more, and I think that's part of the fun of it. And a lot of teams come together when you get on the road, and I think it's exciting, and it's good to see this thing back to normal, because even though we had March Madness last year, it just didn't seem normal.
It was not the same.
Yeah.
Was not the same. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question. We've got one more segment left in hour 1. We'll do that next.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
There's always a reason to celebrate, and we are at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair during the Jeep Celebration event. From the legendary 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee to the redesigned new Jeep Compass, Jeep carries a lineup of capable SUVs built for modern adventures on and off-road. Don't miss out. Shop now during the Jeep Celebration event in-store in Blair or online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question. A few minutes left here in hour number 1. Where do you come down on James Harden? I know you're a Thunder fan, so he played with the Thunder, obviously, with when KD was there and Westbrook, and they really had things going. It kind of, to me, Harden is either you're kind of a fan or you're not. You're not middle ground. You're not Switzerland with him. You either like him or you don't.
Well, I think because you just said it, I'm a Thunder fan, and I really liked him and that team a lot. Even, I hate to even say it, that I've even softened a little bit towards Kevin Durant as much as I really was mad at him when he left Oklahoma City. But I was a fan of James Harden, and so I've kind of, even though I know he can be polarizing, and like you said, it's either one or the other, but it's hard. That dude is a grinder, and he can shoot. And for me, I always have a soft spot for shooters because you don't. I stand by. You are not God-given. You're not God-given as a good shooter, a shooting ability. You have to work at that. You might be given. You might be born with athletic ability and speed and all of this, but the shooting you've got to work at. And that dude can shoot. He's a good shooter.
I bring it up because last night in the game he had a three-pointer that put him into the third all-time in the NBA history in three-point shooting. He jumped the great Reggie Miller. I was a huge I loved Reggie Miller's game.
Which, by the way, the Husker players didn't know who the all-time leading scorer for the Indiana Pacers
They
were.
didn't. Well, Reggie's... It's been a while since he played.
True.
I love his commercials right now. I think it's for Wendy's. Those are pretty fun. Yeah. He's walking in his PJs. He's like, "Can you put the game on there?" That's the menu board. That's not a TV. We can't put the TV game. He's like, "Really? You can't put a game on up there?"
I like Reggie a lot, and I like that. He wasn't a guy that necessarily had a lot of talent ever around him, and he stuck there in Indiana, which I know that the NBA has totally changed, but even then he didn't ever request to be traded. He was a guy that was happy there, even though he probably never had the talent to go win a title, but he was definitely one of the best.
Had those great battles with Jordan. If you saw The Last Dance, documentary, they showed some of the Pacers Bulls battles that Jordan had with Reggie and that team that he was going through there. But yeah, Harden last night made some news. Now a member of the 76ers after the time in Brooklyn did not go well. So a lot
of people don't like him because of the way he can draw fouls, and that he's kind of a quote-unquote flopper. But that's all across the NBA. It's not just James Harden. He's just following suit and doing what he's got to do.
The Sixers are interesting. Joel Embiid is a heck of a player, and now they've got some weapons around him that they could make a run in the playoffs, as the NBA's got about a month left in the regular season there, that they'll be finishing that thing up in a while. But I knew you probably had some thoughts on Harden because you grew up a Thunder fan. Speaking of the Thunder, Isaiah Roby's had a good week and a half. He's putting up some huge numbers for the Thunder.
That's a guy, like I was just talking, I think we were talking about it in the commercial break, how the NBA has been better about being patient about the growth of players. You see the potential, and the Thunder, Sam Presti is kind of he has set the mark on that. And he's done that a lot, where he's taken guys in the draft that might not necessarily come out and be, the NBA player of the year or, lead the team in scoring, but are kind of a little bit of a project. And he takes the time to develop those guys. And Isaiah Roby has really come into his own here recently.
So happy for him. He's gotten some big minutes over the last week plus and is doing a great job for the Thunder. And Delano Banton has had moments in his first year with the Raptors. He's not, they'll have a lot of games he won't play at all, and they'll have some games he does some pretty good things in 10, 12 minutes. But again, I'll go back, and you and I talked about it way back in July. I was shocked that he got drafted. I didn't think Delano would get drafted, so he did. So I'm glad he's making a name for himself.
I got a notification on my phone about
2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The best parts of an SUV and pickup truck come together in the all-new 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz. This up-for-anything sport adventure vehicle gives you modern convenience and uncommon freedom with the open bed of a pickup truck. Plus, when you shop Hyundai, you'll benefit from Hyundai Owner Assurance with America's Best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Find yours online at woodhousehyundai.com or in-store off 144th and Giles Road during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai-Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at hyvee.com/mealtime.
Welcome into the Acres Broadcast Center. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Friday, Huskers fans. It's another busy weekend at the Huskers Radio Network, and we'll set your table right here in Hour 2 of Sports Nightly. First, a softball final from earlier this afternoon. It was Nebraska 10 and Sacramento State 9 as the Huskers won in dramatic fashion.
With a 1-1, and Ibarra swings and blasts it. Deep right center field. Gone! Huskers win! Huskers win! Huskers win! Huskers win 10-9 on the Ibarra blast to center.
There you heard the voice of our own Nate Rohr as he called the great walk-off by Cam Ibarra to win that one. Gave the Huskers their 12th win of the season. He did it in comeback fashion. They came back down from 5 runs in that one. And they're currently in action for their second game of the day against Cal State Fullerton, where they lead 3-1 in the 6th inning. Earlier today, Huskers Beach Volleyball had a tough one. They're down in Hawaii playing in the Queen's Cup. They fell to 9th-ranked Hawaii 5-0 this afternoon, and earlier in the day, they lost by the same score to number 10, California. They'll be back at it tomorrow with more action at the Queen's Cup. No Huskers basketball in action, but the Big Ten men's tournament marches on. In quarterfinals today in Indy, we saw the stunner earlier today when 9th-seeded Indiana pulled it off, upsetting the top seed Illinois in a thriller 65-63. Shortly thereafter, 5th-seeded Iowa bested 4th-ranked Rutgers, and that score was 84-74. Currently in action, it's the 2-seed Wisconsin against the 7th-seed Michigan State, and it's been a good one all the way through. 12:19 remaining in the second half. It's Wisconsin with a 1-point lead. They've really had to fight to get any kind of lead in this one. It's been neck and neck for the vast majority of this contest. It's 37-36. Again, Badgers up for the moment. And after the conclusion of that game, it'll be the 3rd-seed Purdue taking on 11th-seed Penn State. In women's top 25 tournament action, it's the Big 12 quarterfinals, and they're going hot today, as it's been a lot of action going back and forth throughout the day there. Baylor bested Oklahoma State. That one was a one-sided affair, 76-36. Oklahoma took down Kansas earlier, 80-68. And 10th-ranked Iowa State beat West Virginia just not too long ago. That one went final 66-60, and tipping off soon, it'll be Kansas State taking on 7th-ranked Texas. Huskers women's hoops, you can join them at the Pinnacle Bank Arena this Sunday. Gates opening at 6 p.m. You can watch the NCAA selection show with the team and the coaches. That one is, again, at 7 p.m. is the live broadcast Central Time. The doors at PBA will open at 6, and you can attend for free. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina. At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off the Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang, a bang, a bang-a-rang. Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We are back, hour number 2, our final hour of the night, final hour of the week. Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. How about that? You've made it to another weekend, and for a lot of folks, spring break is here. I know it is for the UNL students. They finish up class today, and they'll get next week off, and then they'll make the stretch run to finish off the academic year.
And we'll have easier parking.
How about that? It's been hard nobody walks, right? In the wintertime,
it's
everybody's
too cold,
drive.
I guess.
Too cold to walk anywhere, so...
I've gotten a couple parking tickets.
Yeah, well, yeah, those are expensive, too, on campus.
I misread a sign, and yeah, my bad. But yeah, there's just nothing. There's nothing. It's packed everywhere.
I know. It's tough. It'll loosen up, at least for all of us, for next week. Coming up this hour, we're going to hear from Efry Cervantes, Mr. Do Everything in the infield for the Husker baseball team. He's played second, played short, played a little bit of third. He's swung the bat pretty well for this team. They're going to get ready to get busy. They'll play UNO Sunday, Monday up at Omaha on Sunday, and have the home opener Monday at 1 o'clock at Haymarket Park. We'll also hear from Megan Kahn, who's from the Big Ten office. The Big Ten office, she oversees women's basketball, and she's going to be anxious to hear what those pairings look like for the Big Ten Conference coming up on Sunday night. We'll have that. And as always, phone lines are open for you, 402-413-2400. You can dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text there. How about Cam Ybarra hitting a walk-off earlier today for the Big Red?
That's awesome. So glad for her, and this team can hit. I was just looking up their stats. I mean, they are far and away leading the Big Ten in home runs, and they're third in the nation in home runs per game. And, of course, we've talked about Billie Andrews leading the nation, but it's not just her hitting bombs. You know, they got a few of them in the lineup, which is big because, you know, when we talked to Maddie Burkhart leading into the season, that was a big question mark, is who could, you know, step up and deliver, you know, some power hitting with the loss of Tristan Edwards. So it seems like it's a little bit Husker by committee on that deal.
So they won 10-9 over Sacramento State and lead 3-1 right now in the 7th against Cal State Fullerton. That's where they're playing today, is at Fullerton. So a chance to get a doubleheader sweep over two different teams today. So 3 more outs away for them to get to their second win of the day. Husker baseball is off to a disappointing start, just 4-8 after the loss 6-4 on a cold Wednesday night in Manhattan against Kansas State. 3 big errors really undid the Huskers in that game. A guy that did not commit an error but has been playing really well is Efry Cervantes. Had a chance to sit down and chat with him earlier today. Let's start with that game the other night. Have you ever played in that cold a game?
Probably not. You know, being from Arizona, doesn't get that cold, but it was my first time, and you know, yeah.
Is that the biggest issue, try to keep your hands warm?
I would say yes. Yeah, the hands and the face, because, you know, it's exposed, but I mean, it's cold for everyone. You know, everyone has to play in those conditions, so, you know, it's cold for everyone.
What about when you're swinging a bat? Do you feel it in your hands when you're swinging when it's that cold?
You know, honestly, it's not something that you can let yourself think about when you're hitting, because, you know, that's another thing to put in your mind. You know, when you're hitting, you just got to focus, you know, you and the pitcher, so it's not something that, you know, you can really think about up there.
All right, this team is not where you thought you'd be, 4-8 at this point in time. What's been the message from the coaches, and what are you guys talking about as a group about trying to get this thing flipped around?
Yeah, you know, just it is what it is, and, you know, keep taking it day by day. It's going to turn around, and we're confident it's going to. You know, things haven't been going our way, but I know the guys in the clubhouse are so confident that we're going to turn this thing around. We have a great team, and, you know, we're confident. We're very confident, and we're going to get this thing turned around, no doubt.
We've been talking on a broadcast about how you're barreling up a lot of balls right now. You got to feel pretty good at the plate.
Yeah, for sure. You know, last year was, you know, didn't go my way, but, you know, I learned a lot from it, and, you know, yeah.
We've seen you at second, short, third. Do you have a position you prefer in the infield?
No, I mean, I'm an infielder. You know, I'm an infielder. Just catch the ball and throw it wherever I play. I know I'm confident that when it's hit to me, it's going to be an out. So, I mean, I'm just an infielder.
Same glove for all 3 positions?
Yeah, same glove. I've had that glove for a long time. A lot of the guys give me a hard time because we get new gloves here every year, and I'm still using the same glove from junior college that has holes in it and stuff like that. So I can't let that thing go.
You just feel comfortable with it?
Yeah, you know, the ball sticks in there, so why change it up, you know?
Do you oil it up at all, or do you give it any love and care?
I could probably be nicer with it. In the airport, guys carry their glove with them and don't want to throw it in the bag, but I just throw my glove inside my bag, and, you know, I could probably be nicer to it because it takes good care of me. But
we're talking with Efry Cervantes here on Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Huskers will play Omaha Sunday, Monday. Bet you're anxious to play a game at Haymarket Park again, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, those fans are amazing. Yeah, they're great. I mean, they get so loud, and, it really energizes the team. You know, they're such good fans, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to play at home. It's awesome.
Do you remember your first game there?
I do. I remember just the crowd just being into it and kind of taking a step back and being like, wow, like this is pretty cool. You know, it's everything that players were telling me about. I remember making a play and just seeing how loud they got. You know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
All right, workout's been pretty good this week. I mean, you guys know it's a long season. You guys know you have good talent. You were in a postseason a year ago. What have the workouts been like?
They've been fun. They're competitive. We get held accountable here, which is great. You know, you need that. You need to be held accountable. It's just fun. I mean, this group loves to be around each other, and it makes coming to practice so much fun. Just being around guys that you love, and you know, the energy that the players bring and the coaches bring. You know, it's awesome.
I want to ask you about Core, because you're now kind of one of the older guys on this team. He's a young fellow that's trying to get used to playing college baseball. He had a tough start at the plate. What do you see, and what can you tell him to kind of help him get through this path?
He's a stud, man. Like he's a young dude, but yeah, I mean he has every tool. I mean, he's so good at baseball, and you know, he's young, but he doesn't play like he's young, and that's kind of what I like about him. Kid can pick it. He has a great arm, and he can hit. I mean, you know, just got to tell him to stay confident, because you know that's what it's all about. You just got to be confident, and you know, it don't matter if you're young. You know, it's baseball. It's baseball. So. That don't matter. It don't matter how old you are. It's baseball at the end of the day, and that kid's very good. He has a bright future.
He showed us something, I thought, the other night in those at-bats he put together.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah, he has it in him. He's such a good hitter. He has quick hands, so I wasn't surprised at all. I was not surprised at all to see that. You know, that's what he does. That's what he's capable of doing. So I know nobody was surprised by it.
Travel. That's all you guys have done so far. It's got to be nice to be knowing you're going to settle in and play here a bunch of games at home.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just traveling. It's fun. It's fun too. I mean, I like it, but nothing beats coming at home and playing at home in front of these fans, just like we talked about earlier. It's just different. It's different for sure.
Well, congratulations on the good start to the year. Let's get this thing flipped on Sunday.
Let's do it. Can't wait.
Efry Cervantes with us here on Sports Night. It's 7 games in 8 days coming up. It's going to be busy for that team.
So what was the weekend like, being that everything got pushed?
The Long Beach series got totally canceled.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be today, tomorrow, Saturday, but they picked up Omaha for Sunday, Monday.
But were they practicing? Like, what was
They practiced inside the
Okay.
last couple of days. It's been too cold.
I know, it's
outside.
miserable out there. I was like, had tears running down my face walking into the office.
For the home opener on Monday, cloudy but 52. That's okay. And folks, you've got my permission to skip out of afternoon work. Come out and sit in the ballpark.
And by the way, the red carpet experience, experience is coming up on next week too.
Yep. Which I think is it Tuesday night's game.
It's the 15th.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday game with New Mexico State, so that'll
Yep.
be a night game. And that day, 63 for the high and sunshine. And we'll have more daylight because the daylight savings time, it'll be light out till about 7:30 or so with a 6:30 start, third or fourth inning for that. Good to hear from
But if you
Efry.
want to sign up, I just talked to Dr. Chatters. Make sure you get involved, because it's an awesome experience for those kids, and you never know who you might inspire. So if you know someone or know a group of kids that want to sign up, I think they're still taking
This school year will be known as where that new tradition began.
I was sitting in the office with him. I was like, I can't wait. In 10 years, there's going to be, or, you know, 8-10 years, there's going to be a kid that signs on to play at Nebraska. Well, why did you want to play for the Huskers? Well, there was this time when I was about 8 years old that I got a chance to come to a game, and you know, again, it's spreading out through all the different sports. So Courtney Wallace sat here and said how important that was for her to get to see softball growing up, and so all the different kids, you never know who you're going to inspire, and I think there's definitely going to be a story one day that they fell in love with the Huskers and wanted to be a college athlete because of that red carpet experience.
Totally agree with that. Huskers are 1 out away from getting that doubleheader sweep out in Fullerton. They lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Should have a final for you here coming up. Buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, Megan Kahn of the Big Ten office will join us. She oversees women's basketball. Big day for that coming up on Sunday with Selection Sunday. That's straight ahead.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right. Because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride.
This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan and experience the difference. Choose your thrill in the all-new 2022 Nissan Murano, Rogue, or Sentra. Safety comes standard, so you can enjoy the ride knowing that Nissan has you covered. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place. Discover a bold, new direction and drive Nissan.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Here is a before-winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple-pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
See beyond traditional security with Kidwell. Kidwell's experts collaborate with its data cabling and IT teams to design and install surveillance camera systems that integrate with your network, are easy to manage, and can be accessed from anywhere. The Kidwell team assures every piece of technology performs seamlessly and creates greater confidence and a higher level of protection for your business and staff. From video surveillance to information technology to data cabling. See beyond to what's possible at KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the big red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more acres. Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. Last week at this time, you were soaking up all the atmosphere in Indianapolis at the Big Ten Women's Tournament.
Yeah, it was a fun atmosphere. It was my first time in Indy, but first time kind of taking that all in, and it was awesome to get to watch some really great basketball. And I also had a chance to sit down and talk at length with Megan Kahn, who is the vice president of women's basketball, the first senior level position dedicated specifically to the growth of women's basketball, which is so important given everything that we went through a year ago. We've talked so much about that. And, just again, she was hired to help strengthen and continue to grow the brand of the Big Ten women's basketball. It's so important. And she had come on the show with Amy Williams and Matt Coatney back in November, right when she was first hired. But lots happened since then, and she's a big fan of the Huskers bench mob. So I got a chance to sit down with her and talk about a lot of different things and what she's been up to in her new role with the Big Ten.
Yeah, and I really think it's Commissioner Warren's vision to make Big Ten women's basketball the best in the country. We've kind of been underrepresented and underrespected, I think, in regards to what's happening on the national scene. SEC, Pac-12, they deserve a lot of the credit. They've had a lot of success the past few years. But Big Ten women's basketball is strong. If you look at our recruiting classes coming in, you look at Caitlin Clark has 2 years. We look at Alexis Markowski has 3 more years. It's like our student athletes, our teams are talented. This is going to be, I like to say, a marathon, not a sprint. And so, as you mentioned, I'm on day 73 of the new job here. It's been a little bit crazy with COVID and rescheduling and all the things that came at us that we weren't really expecting. So my 30, 60, 90-day plan went right, swished into the trash can, I like to say. So we'll refocus on that. But, it's really about building the brand and really taking Big Ten women's basketball where we think it can go.
I'm sure when you are in this role and it's new, you probably have a lot of ideas and dreams and goals, but you have to probably take it a little bit at a time. So back when you talked to us to where you are now, how do you feel about some of the things you've been able to accomplish and the things you've been able to do in your role?
Right, and a lot of that unfortunately got sidetracked by COVID and the priority of rescheduling. We lost 16 games due to COVID. We lost 2 or 3 due to weather. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get all of those rescheduled. It did impact our championship run down the stretch, which is gut-wrenching for all of those that it affected. But it's resilience, and it's how they bounce back from that. And now it's a clean slate this week, and who's going to come out on top in the tournament, who's fighting for seeding in the NCAA tournament. A lot of the things, though, this has been really great because I was able to come in and build relationships right away. I was constantly on the phone with our sport administrators, constantly on the phone or texting with our coaches, and I kiddingly would joke around and say either made fast friends or fast enemies, depending upon which way the cards were falling for them that day. But it's been great to come in. I think I might have said this on the show up front, and now it's kind of coming full circle here in Indy, is I have relationships in this league that I've known some of the folks for years. Amy was a player when Nebraska was recruiting me as I was a student athlete in high school. I played AAU ball with Brenda Freese's younger sister. I was a camper for Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen when they were still at Drake before they even took the Iowa job. So it's been fun to come full circle, and they're like, you're all grown up now. So it's been a lot of fun, and we can capitalize, I think, on those relationships and that trust factor, and they know they have somebody in their corner fighting for them every day.
You had mentioned just, the Big Ten and the conference and how tough that this conference is. I mean, what a finish, to have so many teams fighting at the end, to be, right there, to come down to the last day with multiple games on the line to see who was going to win the regular season. A lot of parity. How important is that for women's basketball to kind of have that competition there in the Big Ten?
Yeah, and I think across the board, even outside of the Big Ten, there's more parity than we've ever seen before. Looking at already the games in the other conferences happening this week, and like you said, we had a fight to the finish on last Sunday coming down, and ironically, 5 of our 6 games that day impacted tournament seed. So that tells you, which way the marbles were going to fall, how tough this week is going to be here to hoist the title on Sunday in NCAA tournament. And you look at some of the top 16 reveals. In the last one, we had 4 teams in the top 16, which is phenomenal. We would have 4 of our teams hosting in the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. And let's hope, we can make a deep run. I think with it, the Final Four being hosted in Minneapolis, which is in Big Ten country and a Big Ten city, would be awesome to have a team, if not 2 teams, that are represented.
So for Nebraska fans, from the start, they get off to a 12-0 start, right? And then they've knocked off Michigan, they've knocked off Indiana, 2 top 10 wins, and yet they're not in the top 25. And so a lot of our fans have asked us, why is Nebraska not ranked in the top 25? Do you have a take on that, on why the rankings are shaking out the way they are? And I understand that the net ranking is kind of what's important for women's basketball, and we've kind of communicated that. But for like the AP top 25, there's a lot of focus on the men's side of that, and men's teams being in the top 25. Why do you think Nebraska couldn't crack that top 25 this year?
They were right there receiving votes for so many weeks. That period where they had a ton of injuries with Sam on the sideline and Jazz on the sideline, and then they get hit by the COVID bug. And that, I think, really disrupted their momentum for a little bit, but they seem, my gosh, they're, playing so well right now, and I'm hoping they're a lock for the tournament. The AP top 25 is a funny thing, and I think their momentum got killed at the wrong time of the year for them never to crack in. But they're turning eyeballs now. Nebraska's probably the team that nobody wants to play this week because they're pretty dang dangerous.
When we were talking before we started recording about your meetings with the NCAA selection committee. For fans that maybe be, curious, how does that all work when you're meeting with, the committee and maybe trying to push for teams, figure out what teams are in? How does that work? What's that process like for you guys in the conference?
Yeah, and I always say the best part of my job is that we have really good product on the floor, right? Like, we'd be having a different conversation if I even took this job, if we weren't performing at the level we're performing and where I said I think this league can be really strong for a few years. I meet with the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee. They're the ones who select the 68 teams this year since our bracket expanded. I meet with them on a regular cadence, and we go through the amount of information we walk through on every single team with them, their wins, their losses, their losses that were against top 25 teams or net 25 teams, and those are good losses versus bad losses, and what top 25 wins they have, and what they're looking at, and say, okay, well, these are our teams for sure that are a lock, these are our teams on the bubble, and these are the teams that can maybe surprise some people, so don't write them off the books yet. And so I actually have my final meeting here coming up next week after our tournament concludes, in advance of the selection. We'll actually talk seeding. And so up to now, it hasn't been about where they're going to get the seed. It's been about who's in, who makes that 68 field, and then now we'll talk seeding. Like I said, hopefully we have 4 in that top 16 that would get a host.
That's so exciting. You had mentioned earlier that you knew Amy Williams for a long time, and it's been so impressive to see what she's done with this team this year. What do you think it is about Amy Williams that makes her so good as a coach?
Well, let's talk about the bench mob, too. It's like my favorite.
Get there, yeah.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder here, but, it's like you can just see the culture shift and the energy shift this year. I don't know if it's the freshmen. I don't know if it's like they finally got all the cogs in the wheel move in, but there is buy-in on that team now. And, the team hit a couple bumps late in the season, but they seem to be rebounded well, and they're bought into each other, and I think they're bought into Amy and that culture, and there's a winning vibe that is very contagious with what they're doing and the energy that those freshmen and those newcomers are bringing to the team.
Yeah, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Alexis Markowski. How fun has it been to watch her make such an impact here so early?
It's been phenomenal. Like I said, our league is just primed for success for a number of years. It's been fun to watch Alexis and Jamie, and it's like what your social team has been able to do with pushing that out on social. 8-time freshman of the week in the league, which is unheard of, and just really exciting, I think, for the future of Husker women's basketball.
Okay, so Bench Mob, I know you've been a fan of them from the start. Do you have a favorite celebration? That's got to be fun to watch, just a bench so engaged, and they talk about how important that is to what this team is doing on the floor. They bring the energy, and they feed off of that.
Yeah, so I have to tell you a funny story. We were actually talking about the Bench Mob during the game last night, and then we looked down and we're like, wait, the Bench Mob's actually on the floor, so now the pressure's on the starters to fulfill the Bench Mob role. So, I love the bicycle was one of the early ones, so that was a favorite. I love the bowling one. The cheerleading pyramids are pretty good. They're all good. I think it's creative. I'm excited to see what they're going to come up with.
Did you see the dunk contest in the game last night?
Yes. It's phenomenal. Like, they're so creative. I love the energy and that they have so much fun over there.
Whitney Brown posted she was trying to get some votes, that she had her 360 dunk was the best of all three of those. But no, it's been fun to see you kind of follow along this team. I did want to ask you too, because another question that we get a lot of times from fans is about the streaming, that Big Ten Plus. A lot of the conference games for women are on the streaming platform, whereas the men are all on television. They can see that all the time. So is there any maybe conversations about that, about maybe getting more exposure for women's basketball on the TV platform as opposed to just the streaming platforms?
Absolutely. It's one of the things that is key for me to build. I've already started building those relationships with Big Ten Network, and I will promise your fans Big Ten Network has definitely bought into women's basketball. I feel like we have a great collaborative partnership, and they recognize the growth of where we can go and see where we can go and know that this league's going to be good for a long time, and they want to put that time, energy, and investment into really broadening this. If you look at what wrestling has done on the network and on the social side, and of course men's basketball, and same with honestly Sirius, they've been great partners to us in exposure on the airwaves, and so that definitely is how we talk about growing the brand, I think, in that consistency and the messaging of the brand and that exposure through our television package.
Yeah, because, it's a fun game to watch, and there are fun teams. Look what Caitlin Clark, you mentioned her. There's a lot of elite players in this league that if people had the opportunity to watch, I feel like it will continue to grow the sport and grow this league, right?
Yeah, and there's so much momentum right now, I think, for women in sports and women's sports, and we're on the cusp of the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and there's more eyeballs than we've ever seen in the Women's College World Series, and the viewership we've already seen on the Big Ten Network. We'll have our highest viewed season we've ever had before, and so those are all promising numbers. I think I just heard the other day that ESPN sold out of all the ad spots to run during the Women's Final Four. It's probably never been done before, or it's been a long time since it's been done, so there's just a lot of it's tremendous upside, I think, and right place, right time for me to walk into this position.
Well, we appreciate all that you're doing. Any final thoughts for our Nebraska fans that'll be listening in?
Yeah, let's go. Let's make a deep run in the tournament. If we're raining threes like Jazz Shelley and getting boards like Alexis, I think we're in good shape.
Appreciate your time and all that you're doing for this league and the growth of women's basketball. I thought it was really fascinating to get to kind of pick her brain a little bit. It's going to be fun to see. She's still new in the role. It was like day 73 when I talked to her, and as she mentioned, a lot of it she had to crumple up and throw it out the window because of some derailing with COVID and whatnot. But it's just so important to have someone that's dedicated to women's basketball and the growth of that sport and being an advocate for them. And me personally, I want to see them on TV, and so I asked about it. So hopefully that is a change that is coming, that the Nebraska women's basketball team will be able to be on TV more.
Very good. She's fun to listen to.
Yeah, and
really.
She is absolutely a fan of the Huskers bench mob and watching this team play for sure.
Very cool. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy it online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. Need to take a break. It's not quite an 8-minute break, but we'll tell you about what 8 minutes means. We'll do that next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline, and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Everett swings and hits one well to left. That's hit well. Elkins turning. He's to the wall, and it is gone. Everett gets one out of here.
Big Red Baseball is back at Haymarket Park for the first time this season as they take on the Omaha Mavericks this Monday. Catch all the pregame action on the Huskers Radio Network at 12:30 p.m. with first pitch at 1. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Winquist comes set, the pitch, there goes the runner, ground ball right side, base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the 9th inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on a Friday night.
You left us on a cliffhanger.
I did.
So
8 minutes. Husker volleyball tickets went on sale today in Grand Island for the match with KU. It sold out in 8 minutes.
That's amazing.
6,000 tickets.
Not surprising, and I know that was something they rescheduled. It was important for them to get back there and do that game there, and so that's awesome. That's so cool.
So Huskers, that match is April 23rd. If you were going to go bite you're too late. They're gone. They're gone. You had 8
Hopefully
minutes.
it's on TV. You can watch it on TV.
I don't think it will be. It will be here on the network. So
there you go.
We'll put JB to work, and I'm guessing Lauren will be part of that as well. But
maybe you can. Maybe we can stream it. We can find a way to stream it.
Kudos to Husker fans. Mandy did it again. 8 minutes to sell out the Heartland Center out there in Grand Island to do that.
If you would have if going into it, if you would have said been asked to set an over-under, what would you have
I
said?
probably would have gone 30. 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, how many phone lines do you have? I don't know. But I guess you can do it online, right? So you can buy them online. So that's where they get chewed up with. In fact, somebody posted and said, I got there like at 10:04 and they were gone.
Wow.
They couldn't get in the queue. Is that what they call it? Get
Probably,
yourself
yeah.
in the queue.
Yeah.
You're 10 up, and your order will be taken 10th in the order line or whatever. But so there you go. The Husker match sold out for April 23rd. Big news in the NFL world for TV broadcasting. For years, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman have been the lead announcers on Fox's NFL coverage. They're jumping ship. They're going to go to ESPN and be a part of the Monday night matchup on ESPN. How
I wonder
about
what
that?
that contract looks like.
It's a big shakeup right there.
Yeah.
So-
But, it's been a complaint for fans for a long time. ESPN just can't figure out what to do with that Monday night. And even Peyton and Eli's numbers were close to what the actual
The main broadcast was.
Yeah. So, a lot of that is to do. It seems like every year, whoever it is, it's trending every Monday night of how bad whoever the analyst is.
I like Joe Buck a lot. He gets criticized a lot, but boy, he bounces in October. He'll bounce from calling the World Series to the NFL, and it's not easy to make that, and I think he does a great job. So
I wonder,
he's
I
good.
guess he's moving away from doing baseball.
Giving up baseball. Now, ESPN still has baseball, so maybe will do some of the playoffs or something, but he won't do the World Series because that has been a Fox product. I don't know the new Major League Baseball agreement, whether that changes that or not. So, but yeah, there's a couple of big newsy, notesy things for you there today. But
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of big news, and it's kind of been trending on my Twitter, not just because it's Oklahoma softball, but Jocelyn Allo has tied the NCAA career home run record, right? And nobody will pitch to her. If you're a pitcher...
Why would you?
To be a competitor, you just walk her every time?
Yeah, heck yeah.
You don't want to be the one on the other side of that history?
Particularly why give up a run and put them on base? Now, there'll be times you can't walk them because there's a couple people on base and you can't do that. But no, I think that's a pretty wise strategy.
So here's why I brought that up. So Kenzie Grimes, who was the pitcher at North Texas who gave up the home run to Lauren Chamberlain, who Jocelyn is tied to, basically said that, so I'm the pitcher that gave up the home run that put Lauren Chamberlain on the top of the leaderboard. This is the game where she hit her record-breaking home run off of me, where I pitched to her 3 times. She was a dominant athlete, but I wanted to challenge myself and see what I could do. So kind of was blowing up on my feed today, and not just because it's Oklahoma, but I follow a lot of softball fans and a lot of softball people that are invested in this because she's one away from, and she has been one away since, I think, the first week of the season.
This kind of brings our whole week full circle, because remember we talked on Monday about how many forfeits there were at the Big Ten Wrestling Championship.
Yeah.
Guys going, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just take my 4th place finish or whatever. You win on a walkover. We saw that happen a lot too.
Yeah, and it really stinks for the fans that showed up at PBA, and I understand that a lot of these guys, because that's how the Big Ten is, will be matching up in the Nationals.
Right.
But again, if you are a competitor and you have the confidence, you got to beat them twice. So it's a tough go at it when you are a fan and a spectator, and you go and you want to watch all of the competition in the wrestling, and then you see a bunch of forfeits. Or if you're going to watch someone make history, like I can imagine that probably those baseball fans back in the day with all the home run guys chasing all of that, they buy tickets to go see this history happen, and then the pitchers aren't even pitching to them.
Barry Bonds got walked a couple times with the bases loaded, and the other manager goes, I'd rather give up 1 than 4.
Yeah.
So they'd walk Barry Bonds. Now he can't get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's another topic.
But, there's another... I remember reading a book on that at the time, and then people saying that as much as they want to hate on that, it saved baseball at the time.
It did. Barry should be in the Hall of Fame. That's, again, a whole other topic there. Our
sports summer topic.
It's a summer topic. Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands. 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. We have saved winners and losers for last. I can't wait to jump into this. I'm excited about this one tonight. We'll do that next.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the Bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
We're back. Final few minutes of our Friday night show. Time for us to jump into winners and losers for the week. Jessica, lead us off.
So we talked about this a little bit, but I actually just forgot who my winner is, but I had a backup, so I'll go with that. And kind of building off of our conversation with Megan Kahn, the Husker women's basketball team, the two games in the Big Ten tournament against Iowa and Michigan were the two highest, most watched games in BTN history of women's basketball.
Fantastic.
So shout out to women's hoops fans, and then shout out to Husker fans, because we know that was a good chunk of those people tuning in. So hopefully those numbers keep pushing to put them on that platform a lot more. So that'll be my winner and my loser, and I'm doing this for the sake of Andrew. How about Duke? Duke is my
losing the game.
A week ago tomorrow, they lost on Coach K's farewell to North Carolina, and the fans in the stands crying. And but
you
North
would
Carolina,
not have done that if he was sitting over here.
I totally would have, and he would have probably come around from that corner and been really mad at me. But I hope he's listening. And yeah, this is dedicated to Andrew, my loser this week. Duke and North Carolina spoiling Coach K's farewell exit game.
That's beautiful. Tim, you want to jump in?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go winner first. The Denver Broncos. I think you gotta, after this Super Bowl especially, you go with go for the broke. Go get your quarterback. They did that. They got Russell Wilson. And loser, I'll make a long story short. I'm a hockey fan. Jack Eichel, superstar player, demanded a trade out of my favorite team's market, Buffalo. Got that. Got traded to Vegas. Came back to Buffalo for the first time last night. The two players he was traded for scored goals. He did not, and Buffalo ended up beating his team, Vegas. And in the postgame, he had some salty things to say. basically threw the fans under the bus, who were largely sympathetic to him and understood why he was asking for a trade out of town when it happened. There's a long story there, but yeah, he threw the fans under the bus on his way out and was a salty, sore loser last night. So,
not a good look.
Doesn't get along with the media in Buffalo either, huh?
Oh, no. That was a big problem for the 7 years he was there. Great player. Just needs to grow up a little bit.
Wow. All right, my winner, Major League Baseball. They got it done. The 99-day lockout is over. Spring training begins Sunday. Players report on Sunday. There will be a full 162-game schedule.
They could be both the winner and the loser, though.
But it affects so many people. Think about all the people that work at stadiums, that clean up or sell work concessions or work parking at or tickets or all those things. It affects a lot of lives beyond the players or the owners. It just affects a lot of people. So I'm glad that they got that rectified.
It was just a little messy leading up to getting it cleared out. A lot of bullets thrown and shots thrown that. But they were not happy with each other for a while. But yes, glad they figured it out.
In fact, they were starting to collect funds to pay ballpark workers in Arizona and Florida at spring training sites because they were losing money because the spring training games weren't going on. All right, who is a fan of Pat Sajak? Wheel of Fortune, Pat Sajak, right? Great guy, right?
Yeah.
I like Pat Sajak, but boy, he was bad this week. He does a little interview after they take the first commercial break where he kind of introduces you to each contestant, right? He goes, oh, this is Jessica. Jessica, it says here you went to college and he tells a little story. Well, so he asked this person, was Scott. His first name was Scott, and he says, Pat goes, why am I mentioning this? It says on your card you had your big toe chopped off. Why are you telling me this? And then Scott goes on to say, well, this is kind of an important story. I was 12 years old. I was riding my bike. I had flip-flops on. I fell, cut the top part of my toe off, but a car drove by and had a paramedic in it. And he said, you're going to be fine. We're going to sew you up. You're going to get your toe reattached. Sajak then shushed the audience who was applauding that this happened for this guy and said, that may have been the most pointless story I ever told, and you told it, Scott, so congratulations to you for telling the most pointless story in the history of Wheel of Fortune.
Wow.
Boo, Pat.
Maybe
he got up on the wrong side of the bed that day, I guess.
Are you a Wheel of Fortune fan?
I do. I like Wheel of Fortune. I like Pat.
Maybe he'll get fired. Oh, Pat. I was thinking Price is Right.
No, it's the Wheel of Fortune. They spin the wheel.
That's shocking.
Yes, he's really a good dude. He went off on this guy for telling a story about having his toe hurt.
Wow.
Bad
I wonder if he'll lose his job and maybe Aaron Rodgers will go ahead and retire and go maybe be the Wheel of Fortune host.
Aaron's coming back. He signed his deal this week. He's good to go.
Hey, if the Wheel of Fortune came, Colin, maybe he'd
reconsider.
Yeah.
Stephen Bellevue said, Greg, thanks for bringing up the Barry Bonds comparison. Well done. Steroids are not best hitter I've ever seen. I'm with you, Steve. Best hitter of my lifetime has been Barry Bonds. And Tim in Minnesota wanted to sound off and say only 7 turnovers for Sparty tonight as they knock off the Wisconsin Badgers 69-63. So the 1 and the 2 seeds at the Big Ten men's tournament gone, out in the quarterfinal day. How about
that? Upsets, love them. It's March, baby.
March is here. We'll have, by the time we have a show on Monday,
we'll know where the Huskers are dancing.
We'll know where the Huskers are dancing. That's Sunday night, selection party at PBA. You're all invited. It's free. Doors open at 6 o'clock. The pairing show's at 7. We'll have Amy Williams in studio for an hour on Monday night at 6.
Can't wait. I'm just filled of anticipation and excitement. I love this time of year, and we don't know where they're going, but you can speculate, but until you see that name, once you see that name pop up and you see the team's reaction and they all scream, it's one of my favorite moments all throughout the year.
Will be fun. Hey, our sports audio hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. Crypto, I'm with you. Pat's a little old and a little grumpy. That's what happens, I guess, when you get old, you get grumpy. That'll do it for tonight's show. Thanks to Jessica, to Tim, and to all of you. Have a great weekend. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, Visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
Discover a bold new direction and drive Nissan. The Murano, Rogue, and Sentra are equipped with features that will exceed your expectations. Safety comes standard with technology that's got your back, so you can feel confident on the road. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list.